Today is a special day, and it's March 30th, and I am remembering something that was really important on this date in 1978. That's before lots of you were born. And anyway, we all have dates that are really significant, and they're life-transforming dates. This was one of mine and one for our family. And as I've been thinking about that in the last couple of days, I am like, wow, so many things came together to have that happen, that there's a message in there that I want to remember myself and share with you. And that has to do with making a commitment to something. On this date, in 1978, we were sitting at the closing table for our family buying the Queechee Inn at Marshland Farm. We were signing papers, and we were moving from Washington, D.C. suburbs in Maryland to Vermont, which for our friends felt like the end of the world. They were like, don't go, and if it doesn't work out, you're always welcome to come back. Well, we had been up there a few months before and fallen in love with Vermont and fallen in love with this little town called Queechee. And when we stayed all night at the Queechee Inn at Marshland Farm, which was a bed and breakfast, we fell in love with it. And when we woke up the next morning, we discovered it had just been put on the market. And we were like, wow, feeling like the right thing for us to do was to buy the Queechee Inn at Marshland Farm. We had no money to do that. We had a vision that we were going to move, and we had just turned it over. We said, okay, God, here we are. Where do you want us? And so many things fell in place that by March 30th, we were able to be sitting at the real estate closing table, signing papers to buy the Queechee Inn at Marshland Farm. I'm going to hold up, this painting behind me actually is a painting that one of our guests painted for us all those years ago. But I'm going to hold up, and that includes the edition that we put on. Most of the pictures that I have of it are, at the moment, packed away and not easily accessible right now, but I have one little thing that will give you a sense. It's actually right here. That is what it looked like when we bought it. I remember when we drove down off the highway into the little valley, just feeling wow. And then we came around the curve in the road to see white fences, white horse fences, and a pond on the left-hand side. And then what came into view was this beautiful farm. And I had never felt a passion for a place before in my life, but I just felt my whole heart flip when I saw it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous, what is this? And as we got closer, we discovered that that was where we were staying. That was the Queechee Inn at Marshland Farm, which was a bed and breakfast, not a full country inn. And we stayed all night and fell in love with it, and when we found out the next morning that it had just been put on the market, we stayed a couple more days and started to discover how we could have that happen. As it happened, when we met with the person who was in charge of this whole resort development, we discovered that we had mutual friends, and he really wanted us to be able to buy this beautiful little bed and breakfast. So that we gave them, we did not have any money to do this. We gave them a $500 deposit to hold it while we came back to Washington to figure out how in the world we might be able to buy this beautiful place. And they held it for $500. And when we came back, we thought, my husband Michael thought we were going to be able to borrow money from a multi-million-dollar attorney friend of his. But the man thought we were crazy, so he said no, he didn't want us to move away anyway. And we put our house on the market totally in faith. We put our house on the market at Christmas time. And while we were at a Christmas party in our community, our babysitter called and said that my cousin's ex-husband, who lived in Boston, had just called and wanted to talk to us. We didn't have cell phones in those days, of course. So when we got home, we called him, and he said, I hear that you want to buy an inn in Vermont, a bed and breakfast in Vermont. He said, I want you to be able to do that. I have $25,000 that you can borrow until you sell your house. And we were like, that's what we needed to put the deposit on purchasing this beautiful place. So it just showed up because we were committed. And then we were able to sell our house at Christmas time without a realtor. One of our neighbors, who had always loved it, but we didn't know it, bought our house at Christmas time, or agreed to buy our house. And a number of other amazing things happened, so that on this date, in 1978, we had left Washington, packed our kids, our 3 kids, and dog and sedated cat into our country squire station wagon with the paneling on the side, and our marsh grass canoe on the top, and our camper trailer on the back, and we drove to Vermont, and here we were giving up our old life and stepping into a totally new life that we had no clue what it was going to be. And I am thinking, as I review all that right now, that something that I've found after that is that there is a huge, huge response from the universe or God or providence or whatever it is that you prefer to call these amazing forces that work in our favor, often when we don't even know it's happening. And one of my very favorite quotes when I feel stuck or wonder whether I'm going in the right direction or feel like, am I alone in feeling like this is supposed to happen? One of my favorite quotes I'd like to share with you this morning. It's about commitment. And it was actually a statement by W.H. Murray, who was the head of the Scottish Himalayan expedition climbing Mount Everest in 1951. And what he said was, until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance which no one could have guessed would have come one's way. I've learned a deep respect for one of Goethe's couplets. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. So today I gift you with this knowing that when you commit, the universe is there to support you. Providence moves too. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Go for it.